Whoa, jeepers. That might have been an extreme close-up. My hands are kind of... Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for joining us here at the Shire. And yeah, we're right down in the creek hollow. So this is the South Ravine. You can see just right there, there's a fence that goes across the creek. Because the dam is just around the corner, so we have it fenced off so the cows can't get to the dam. So what are we doing on this installment of Piper Doug? Well, this is where Piper Doug's OCD is kicking in. So I've run out of the insulators for the top of the post on the new fence, which are these kind. And so this fence is almost entirely made up of these kind. And I need them. And it's a Sunday. And pardon me. So I'm exchanging them for all of these that came off of the fence over there that is being taken apart. So yeah, it's a little bit of a thing to go along here and do all this, so it seems like time wasting, and for the price these insulators are. But like I said, I don't have any more and I'd like to get this job done. Plus I've got to go along here and check this fence all up. This fence will be getting changed over, like I said in the previous video, because you look here, you see the posts are pulling over. And plus the fence is not actually on the edge of the ravine slope. It could be pushed out like half a width of the machine further over. So I think when we go to barbed wire, these stretches, we will take the fence down and then clean the ridges along the edge, because you can tell where it's had like dirt and dust blowing up into the edge, the field edge, and it's built up. So we'll level all that out and put the new fences right along the edges there, and that way it'll be nice and neat and tidy. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do this. I'll bring you back when we get along to the dam, because there'll be a few of you that haven't seen the dam yet, so get on, because this is not fun. Okay, so here is the dam. This is all man-made. So it's a fair bit of water, but it's still not huge. There is birds in there. They just kind of went and hid from us. So you can just see in there is the culvert, and then center of the screen there is a riprap that goes around the corner and comes out. You can see that sort of a divot there. So that's the overflow, which means the this can hold water up until about there, that part of the bank, before the water goes around the corner. So the plan is there's going to be a gate going into the culvert. So we're still waiting on, they said this is it. Sorry about that, I just got a tornado warning on my phone. It just kicked me right out of my videotaping. That was quite rude. I don't know why the heck we're getting a tornado warning, but anyway, back to the more important thing. So yeah, this is supposed to be the last year that the dam has to settle. So then they're going to put a gate or like a down pipe. That way the water will come up to a level and then down it goes before it goes to the wraparound. As far as I know, that's the plan. So like I said, right now it holds back. At peak time it will hold back about 10 swimming pools sort of size. Right now it's like 4 or 5 Olympic swimming pools. Plan is that once this fills up, it'll go back up, way up to that fence, way around the corner there. So yeah, like I said, it's all man-made. So anyway, I'm gonna message Mrs. Piper Doug and see what the heck this tornado thing's about. And I'll bring you back. Well, thankfully, it slid west and it's going south that way, but our friends over by Lenore over towards Verdant Valley, oh, it's not supposed to be a huge storm, but it's supposed to be quite violent in the middle of it, so oof. Well, this is as far as we're taking this fence and the short fence right now. As Mrs. Piper Doug calls them, the dip-de-doos that come out here. We can do them at a later stage. I just came along here to all the joins, because every fence has a join about halfway along, and just pulled up a little bit of slack. And yeah, someone made a point in the last video about barbed wire today. Well, the generic barbed wire that you get at most places is made with Chinesium, so it's not the greatest quality. So what will end up happening is, even if you get all the kinks and all the little twiggles out of it, it will still end up stretching. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I like to have the hot wire backup. But right now the top wire is basically just the carrier. That way that it takes the power to the other fences that are still not updated. And then eventually the top wire will, for most, realistically it will be pointless, except it's nice to have that extra height on the fence. If you happen to have some extra springy young stock, yeah, then this wire should be an extra deterrent. But it's the one that comes out here is the main one. It stops the youngsters from pushing through there, because as this fence gets older, the barbed wire gets duller. So then they start reaching through, which makes it worse and makes it stretch and stretch and stretch. So that's what the hot wire is, like the double backup. So every so often you will come along and tighten the wires up. So one last thing to do today, now that that is tightened back up, I'm going to close that gate, and then I'm going to go around this fence. I brought my schnackers, and I'm going to cut back all the shrub, gorse bush. I don't know what they're called over here, but it's the Canadian version of the whin bush along the field edges. And maybe bring you back and just show you a little bit of it. For the most part, it doesn't rob a lot of power from the fence, but if it gets wet, it does. It shorts the fence out. And eventually, the plan is to go along the edge of the field and push all that stuff back before the new full apocalypse fences, or I should say the Alcatraz fences, will go up. Anyway, I'm going to get on, because I got to go and do the far side of the ravine yet. Do a double check, replace any insulators, tighten it up, isolate it at the bottom end, and I'll show you that, because the back road fence is always one that's a problem, because there's bush all along the edge of the fence. Branches always fall on it. That is another reason why we did that, and that will be one of the next projects, is getting that whole piece that I'll show you cleaned up. But that one I'll have to work with the municipality, so hopefully they'll share cost it, and we'll get that all tore out or mulched or whatever we can do, and then we can fence it down and put in a shelter belt if they want one. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Old trusty 4-tracks. Okay, let's get going. Let's get going, guys. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So there's areas like this where the field edge is actually over here a ways, and there's a bit of a ridge here. So we could sort of scrub out most of this and push the fence back probably another half of a disc vine width. Oh, there's a stone. These look like Saskatoons as well. But it's all this little stuff. Like I said, it's not usually an issue, but when it gets wet, it can be. So I'll just go along with the schnackers and chop it back. You can see I've obviously been here before, but at some point I probably will get like a little backpack sprayer for the quad, and then that way I can just drive along and spray a 2,4-D in here just to control this stuff. So yeah, you can get at that. It's kind of boring, but anyway. So that is me done the circuit, isolated the fences. So this is the South Ravine, and this monstrosity is the alleyway fence, which is now a temporary boundary fence. Now it's gonna have all the crack-a-lackin' needs. Then I'm coming in here, and where you can see there's old fence posts. I see I can put my bucket down and just zoom in, as I'm not that high tech. So if you look there and you see old posts on the right, and the fence that's currently working on the left, well, sort of working. So the posts on the right are where the fence is supposed to be. So when we turn around, I don't know if you can see because I'm lifting the phone way up high. There's a new strainer post by itself. Well, that's where the fence away in the distance will come back to, and the fence that goes that way will come back to, because we're obsoleting a couple of gates. And then I will put another post about 16 feet, yes, 16, this direction, and then that will be the commencement for this new fence, which will be, which will come up to here. So it's going to be kind of interesting putting a fence in along here, because there is sort of a embankment that I put here. Yeah, look at this. This is the creek. Bone dry. Not a drop of water in her. Dugouts are still full. Haven't been used, but our dugouts never go empty. Even on those bad droughts, they never went empty. Anyway, so right away, even before the cows move, I'm probably going to start putting this piece of fence that goes from there back to those trees there. I'm going to try and get that up as quick as possible, because I want to have that back up. Just, you know, like I said, it's 2 strands of electric. It will be fine. It will be fine. But if we ever have power go out, I'm not relying on that. So that's going to be the next part of the project. There's the foxtail barley. So yeah, you'll see all the rocks here. So yeah, we kind of dumped a whole bunch of rocks and stuff. So it's going to be kind of interesting getting these posts in here. Some of it might be done with the front end loader. But for the most part, as you can see, here's still the old fence. I don't know how straight that is. It's pretty close. Actually, it might be easier coming in from this side than this side. On this part. Down there it's too far. But anyway, so the big thing is I gotta bring my sawzall and stuff, and probably the front end loader and bucket, and scrape the ground here, because there's a lot of crap here. A lot of that gorse, scrub, whatever it's called. And there's some old barbed wire still kind of laying around in the grass. But for the most part, it should be straightforward. It's not a long run. This fence here, it's a bit longer than the short fence that we did over there. Maybe 3 times as long. And there's a gate up here at this tree, so bring it back. Woo! That's a dusty job. So sorry, just take my gloves off. I was just going along, cleaning the ground along the bottom of the posts, just to kind of get it a bit smoother, and pushing any turf and bushes and stuff just back over there, because on the back side of the fence is where I'm going to run the braking disc. So it'll break up branches, roots, turf, all that stuff. So I just took anything that's from about here and just pushed it back over that way. And then everything else, we can clean that up after the cows have grazed the field down. Might look for a pasture drag or something just to kind of knock it down, or just go up, maybe put the 3-point blade on the yellow tractor and just bring it out here. And I don't need to worry about getting this field really pretty. It's going to be getting broken up in the next couple of years anyway, so it'll be the next one in the ploughing rotation. So you'll see the posts, some of the posts are not quite straight, so I'm going to give them all a tweak when we start running the barbed wire. So next port of call is we're going to come in here with a post pounder and knock in 3 or 4 big strainers. We'll break this line up into sections, and then we'll be putting a new strainer at the end, and then we'll be putting new strainers at the other fence as well. And then we'll just kind of go along and eyeball, putting in all the replacement posts, and then we'll be ready to start running some wire. Woohoo! Oh gosh, it was like 30 degrees today. problem. I thought we could get away with just replacing the pistons and the O-rings, but it looks like the brass housings need to be changed as well. Dang it. Anyway, I'll get back. Supper time. We're back in her. Well, we're not back in her. Our RPMs are still not high enough. So this is the demo trial run. So as you can see, we got one round around the field. I'm going to do a couple more just to get this thing right up to heat. I don't want to cut too much because there's a chance of rain in the forecast, but I need to test it so these guys can get down here and figure this out, because that RPM should be at least 500-600 RPM higher. And when I hit stuff, like when I get into some major stuff, it cuts out. And that's not good, especially when I get over into that big field. So yeah. A little bit of cutting, a little bit of fencing. I think tomorrow we're going to move the herd down into the ravine, and then I can get started at this fence over here. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I don't even remember what all I filmed. I know I did a whole bunch of pushing and pulling and digging and shoving and all that good stuff. So, like I said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to leave a comment, do the likely thing,